Okay, so now we're outside the gallery Krymogoja, and we're gonna have a little chat with Mr. Silla from Mum. Can you say the name of this gallery again?
Yes, it's Krymogoja.
Krymogoja?
Yes.
And what is that in Icelandic?
I have no idea. I think it's not Icelandic, I think. Let me ask Sólveig, I think she
Yes, okay, let's.
Krymogoja, I think Hringland. Hringland? Okay, it kind of means Iceland. It means basically in Greek, like Hringland or white land, Iceland.
So it's a pretty good name for this gallery.
I stole it from my little brother. I'm pretty pissed off.
This is the dream space. I think we're gonna create this for talking about dreams. It's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it works for you?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just sit at this table. It's kind of a special feeling because, okay, I'm gonna film this. When you sit down here, then those are sort of pointing against you, right?
Mm-hmm. Or from.
Or from. Do you feel comfortable about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Taking in and giving.
Yeah, it's a sort of take and give kind of table.
Yes.
Now we're here and we're enjoying this dream space with Mr. Silla from Mum. I was just thinking about the concept of dreams, because obviously this is something that every single human being have a dream, right?
Yes, I would think so. Dreams
Changes through age and time. So now we're meeting you here, right now, this very second and moment. And do you feel like you got any dreams that you're thinking about?
What I'm kind of dreaming about these days is making some more music. To find time and, you know, some place to fetch the music from.
Where do you fetch music?
I think it varies a bit. You know, sometimes it comes from your stomach and sometimes it comes from outside. Sometimes just instruments will give it to you. Happens, you know, not very often, but you know, if you meet a new interesting instrument, it'll sometimes just open up and play you a song or something.
Do you feel like you're in the place where you want to be in life right now?
Right now I feel very happy, yeah. It's also a nice feeling to finish something, you know, when you finish a degree, it's a feeling of accomplishment, which is nice.
Can you tell us about your degree?
Yes, this is like this place we're in is a result of art school, the art school I was in. It's called the Icelandic Academy of the Arts and I studied visual arts there for 3 years. So my classmates, they made this gallery and yeah, we were talking about it earlier. It's nice to, when you have, like some people will look at it like you have two muses or powers that are dragging you each way, and a lot of visual artists tend to think of music and visual art in that sense, that it's two very different things. But what I learned in school was that I find it to be a lot the same thing.
Do you feel like you're actually following your dream? I mean, maybe you had this dream when you were a teenager, and I think for a lot of people, you're probably living your dream.
Yeah, I would say I always wanted to kind of. I remember the first time I was singing in front of people, it felt. I remember saying it then, like, must be what like men of God feel like when they find God, you know. It's kind of dramatic, you know, being a teenager and doing it, finding this metaphor to be, you know.
But what would you do if you were not doing music?
I'd probably be in some sort of psychology or not sociology, but but yeah, I've always been very interested in the brain and how it works and why people do what they do. Neurology and psychology, yes.
We're sitting here, we're talking about following your dreams. What would you say to some young people who probably have even more dreams, you know, that they haven't really been able to follow yet? Have you got any advice?
There's a certain tendency to be afraid of things you don't know, like very obvious, but also just to be intimidated by them. And like if you don't know an instrument, you shouldn't play it. But you know, this thing of always just trying and seeing what you can do with what you have in your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not being afraid of things,
and
of failing.
I was also like talking to my mother the other day. I bought her a camera the other day, like a digital camera. And she was always asking me to teach her how it works. And of course I would like show her the main functions, and then I would always try to kind of ask her to just play around with it, you know, because you're not gonna break it. It's not gonna self-destruct if you push the wrong button, you know, just push all the buttons and see what they do, you know. And then you kind of, it's the best way to learn, you know.
Do you have any big fear right now? What are you most afraid of?
Very honestly, I think it's, I think the thing that you can't control or have any influence on, like, you know, is health. You know, you start to think about like your parents and of course yourself and like how random these things are and how life can surprise you in that way. I think like, to be very honest about it, I think that's something that I do like in the back of my head fear a bit, because it would be the thing to turn your life around, you know, if something changes. And also because I've been lucky this far, you know, you're gonna like, oh, it can't go on forever.
Yeah. What do you think you're gonna be doing in, say, 50 years from now?
Like what I've been thinking about a lot as a kid, and like what drives me to try and do things I haven't tried before and not be afraid of it, is that people that never stop learning and always try, like for example Nina, my parents' friend, she would always like find another instrument to learn to play, or find another, like she would always be learning something new. Also my grandmother, she would be going to lectures in the university until she was like 78 or 80, which would also be a very good inspiration to me. And I always hope that I would be like that, you know.